we're ending with this presentation. You're going to love it. This is, yes, Universal Horror Unleashed from Las Vegas. We're going to learn all about that and see some clips. I'm going to bring up the moderator, Kim Scott. Thank you.
Let's give it one more.
I think we should.
Good evening, everyone. Very excited to be here at Monsterpalooza. Universal Horror Unleashed. We respond out of the Halloween Horror Nights of our incredible parks, Universal Hollywood and Universal Orlando. And the creative team decided that just a few months wasn't enough for the incredible horror fans, and so began the building of Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas at Area 15. I have the most incredible gentleman here with me today, our head of entertainment, Del Weiniger. I'm sure many of you have questions about how to become, where to audition, and we want all of those questions. Along with us, Michael Nauman, my head of technical and show operations. How do we keep this going 365 days a year? The technology, the equipment, and everything of the above. So let's get this started, shall we? Here we go. Here we go. Now that one's played.
Bringing horror to life for Universal is very meaningful because Universal created the horror genre.
Universal Horror Unleashed is a brand new immersive experience.
This is a test of courage. This is a place you want to go with your friends to show them that you are strong enough to face your fears and live alone.
A decrepit warehouse in Las Vegas, ancient artifacts have been brought in and collected, and their cursed energy has been contained within this warehouse.
It is going to provide 4 amazing immersive haunted houses that put them right in the middle of iconic and terrifying scenes. We're also going to have really unique, cutting-edge entertainment, retail, dining experiences.
When fans walk through the front door of Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas, they're going to enter a new world unlike anything they've ever seen before.
It's going to be exactly what you want it to be. As a fan of horror, or even as a casual fan of horror, or just looking to have a good time out in Vegas.
This really is the place where horror comes to live year-round.
When you step foot inside this building, you're going to have the most immersive, most horrifying experience of your entire life.
I love the call out to John Murdy, big fan. Love seeing hearing the applause for John. And TJ, and Steven, and Michael Aiello, all of them. So my name is Kim Scott. I'm the general manager for Universal Horror Unleashed. I've spent over 25 years in the live themed entertainment genre with Cirque du Soleil, Enchant Christmas. Yes, I traded Christmas for horror, and I've never looked back. It's been incredible. So was just ecstatic to be able to lead, as we call leading the horror, unleashing the legacy of Universal. And as our B-roll mentioned, we are the creators of the horror film genre. We've seen a lot of our monsters out on the floor this week, and love that everybody loves them and respects them as much as we do. I want to turn it over to Del. Del, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, this is fantastic. I love coming out to these events. My name is Del Weiniger. I'm the Assistant Director of Entertainment for Universal Horror Unleashed. I've been with Universal Destinations and Experiences on and off for the last 26 years. I actually started as a scare actor back in Orlando, back in 2000. My break room was right next to Jack the Clown. So I got to really sit and watch the creatives and the directors work with Jack. It was incredible, and you know, I think if you step into a scare actor role, or cosplay role, you just want to keep going. And so that took me out to Hollywood for a little bit when I worked out there for Halloween Horror Nights as an actor, and then I moved across the pond. No, I'm kidding. I moved overseas to open up Universal Studios Singapore. I worked on all the Universal Halloween Horror Nights out there in Southeast Asia. I started as an assistant show director and worked my way up to creative director. I love horror. I can't get enough of it. Sometimes I'm a little too desensitized to it, but it's something that I have a passion for, and I have a passion for bringing that entertainment to you guys. I love feedback. I love hearing about your experiences. I love people coming up to me and talking about their friends that are currently working with us over in Las Vegas. We are a very close community, and what Universal Horror Unleashed is trying to do is really integrate ourselves within the community, which is why we're here. So I'm going to pass it off to Michael Nauman.
First of all, how cool is this event? This is amazing to see everybody come together like this. My name is Mike Nauman. I'm the Director of Technical and Show Operations for Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. I spent quite a bit of time working with Kim previously at Cirque du Soleil and Christmas. So I've been in the entertainment industry for a little over 30 years. I spent about 20 years on tour with arena productions, traveling all over the world. So this is a little bit new experience for me, which it's been just a roller coaster ride ever since I joined this activation, and it's been just so much fun to be a part of this genre, this world that I never really experienced before. So it's a lot of fun.
All right, thanks Mike and Del. Del, I want you to take the audience through Horror Unleashed, and then maybe give them a little bit of tease about what we have coming up.
Yeah, I think the big question is, how do you go beyond 3 months? How do you keep a horror experience alive, fresh for 365 days a year? And how we do that, and how we're going to do that, is through our seasonal events, limited time experiences, to make sure we can bring fresh offerings for our fans, for our guests, for people that want to come back. We want to keep it fresh year round, right? We have 4 permanent houses. We are looking to turn over those houses at some point in the near future. But with that, how can we layer the experience? How can we expand upon what we currently have? So really that's focusing on intellectual properties, original opportunities to bring new, inventive, creative ideas, new technical effects, which Mike will be talking about here in a second. But also incorporating what we do best, which is our limited time food and themed beverages, merchandise, new entertainment offerings, interactive moments within the space. So not are you only getting the surface level experience when you come to Universal Horror Unleashed, but you can peel back the layers. And every time you come back, you peel back a layer and there's something new each time you visit. What we want to do is not create just a Halloween experience. We need to be a horror lifestyle destination, okay? And we really want to bring that to what we're doing currently. And it all started with Krampus and Kin last year during Christmas, which is a huge success. So of course we're going to bring Krampus and Kin back. But coming into the new year, we played with Valentine's Day, Bloody Valentine. We really worked with Feaster Grievings, our spring event. We had a brand new character that was debuted, the Feaster Bunny, and I'm sure some of you guys are thinking, Feaster. I was working with Mike Aiello, and he was like, Feaster Bunny, take it, it's yours. So definitely took that, and we created a whole new character with the help of Universal Studios Hollywood as well. They were very gracious with assisting us in that process. And it was a huge hit. And we found out that our guests go nuts for interactivity. They love a good scavenger hunt. We had a rotten egg hunt, and I kid you not, they were probably more concerned and having more fun finding all the eggs than interacting with our characters that were around there. So it was really great to see, because that showed us that we need to bring more of that within the space. Something that we just launched recently this month was our Food Film Frights. where you can sign up and get a prefix menu. It's basically a secret film. Can't say what it is. But that happens every Saturday and Sunday. Okay, the food and the beverage is themed to that particular movie, and that's something that will be recurring throughout the years to come. Brand new film every single time that we do it. There will be a brand new character that also will be debuting the next time we do this in September, which is really exciting. After that, our big summer. So with these activations, seasonal overlays, what we're looking at, what are activations? What are the smaller ones? What are the ones that just give you a fun little expansion on the experience, and what are marquee events? Summer is going to be a marquee event for us. So coming up June, July, and August, we are actually working with a very large IP to bring that summer event to Universal Horror Unleashed. So please make sure you're staying tuned on the socials, because it will be announced very soon, which is very exciting for us. Something we're always toying with is how we can bring in what I'm calling enterslayment. So that's trademark, by the way.
Are you trademarking?
I'm trademarking it right now. Into our food and beverage offerings. So currently we have Jack and Chance as one of our main shows. We're going to move that into our Premier House, which is our Premier House Dining, and do a dinner show in the round. So that's something new that we're bringing into the space. This summer we're going to go back to Food Film Frights. For those of you that aren't familiar with what Universal Studios Japan did recently in the last few years was Hamikuma. And yeah, great. Oh yeah, fantastic. That's great. Hamikuma will be returning September, October with an all-new stage show. So that's really exciting as well for us. I keep looking out and seeing art, and that's terrifying. I'm a dad, guys. I've got these for days. Moving on, we're looking at a new Premier House experience. Again, working with our F&B team, who are phenomenal, and really creating enterslayment within that space. And again, we will have Krampus and Kim at the end of this year. What most people don't know is actually we have two areas outside of Universal Horror Unleashed. We have our patio area, and then we have what's called our flex space. Our flex space is exactly the footprint of one of our houses, 7,000 square feet. It's basically a black box, and we have the ability to do whatever we want there. So we are taking Krampus and Kim, and we are utilizing this flex space. It could be a new scare zone, it could be an additional fifth house, it can be whatever we want it to be. So more to come on that. And then we move into the next year, 2027, we've got some really great stuff happening. We're gonna build upon Valentine's Day and have a full month-long Valentine's Day offering. We're gonna do a new Jack show coming in the new year, and then we're moving into Feast of Greetings 2, the sequel, all right? And then we're exploring anime horror come May, okay? As I would say, anime. Then we're moving into Food Film Frights again. Then we're going to be doing a brand new outdoor experience. All new, utilizing that flex space, focusing on a big IP property. And then we're doing a brand new Halloween maze, okay? For the first time coming at the end of 2027, okay? I can't say too much on that. And then we're going to be finishing out the year, doing Krampus and Kid again for the final time, but on a larger capacity. So that's kind of the timeline that we have for this year into 2027. We're ramping it up, we're ready to go. We want to bring all these offerings to you so that way you guys can come out, you can visit, but if you come out again, you're getting something new. There's something new that's always coming into the space. All right?
Thank you, Del. Yeah. So Mike, Del has a lot laid out here. And that's on you and your team to install and execute.
No pressure.
Yeah. Here's my idea, let's go.
Yeah, if he comes up with it, we execute.
All right, Mike, take us through the technical and show operations side of this.
So maintaining a year-round horror event, it's maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Scheduling with the time that you have and trying to get everything up and operational. Anybody that's ever used any theatrical effects knows how much work they take to work consistently. So we have 16 Ultratech G3000s in our building, and every single day we're taking those apart and rebuilding them almost. 6 Poseidon low fogs. We have over 52 special effects with airheads, knocking effects, water effects. The water is extremely hard in Vegas. We always have to change those filters and keep everything cycled through there. So we have 138 artist activated triggers throughout the warehouse and the houses that we have. And artists are not the most gentle sometimes with some of their stuff. So we're constantly walking through and maintaining that daily, hourly, and then on our dark days, completely rebuilding things. We have over 1,400 lighting fixtures in our venue, and we have about 1,000 speakers inside the venue as well. We're in the process right now of upgrading our lighting package to a moving light system for our Jack stage. It's really going to elevate that experience. Safety first mindset. We're in the process right now of integrating a lot of aerial acts into our events. And so my background, Kim's background with Cirque du Soleil is high level acrobatics. And so we're going to start integrating some of that stuff in and just making sure that it's safe every single time for the performers. So we go through harness inspections daily, every single time they put that harness on, it goes in, and then yearly they go back to the manufacturer to get inspected. Rigging hardware, we have a flying vampire fly rail system, which is super cool. So as soon as you walk into the experience, there's vampires flying above you. But there's bogies on that. There's so many moving parts that have to get inspected every single day. Every nut, bolt, bushing, wheel, eyeball, everything gets inspected. And then the aerial equipment, the apparatuses themselves, the hoops, the silks, everything like that will, before anybody touches it or goes into the air, meticulously inspected. So it's definitely our number one priority is make sure that every artist comes back every single day safely. So.
Okay, Del, I've got some questions for the both of you before I open it up to our guests here. A year-round horror experience. What do you do to prepare our artists, not only for the physical aspect, but for the mental aspect? And how do you keep them fresh and safe?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, for a 3-month-long event, right, you can go hard, you can go fast. There's an end date to it, right? You know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. By the time I'm at that last week, I'm exhausted, but I'm going to be finishing. Our artists are ongoing. They're constantly going. So it's working with them in how not to burn themselves out within the first set, right? While still maintaining the integrity of the character and still providing the intensity of the character as well. So you guys get that, that special scare, right? So really it starts with our scare school. That's what we do, and it's a detailed process. I'm actually doing one on Tuesday when I get back with our new group, Hires. And it's really exciting because it gives me a chance to see where they're at currently. Who here has been a scare actor before? Love it. Wait, okay, now who here has been to Universal Horror Unleashed?
Awesome.
More hands go up. Excellent.
Who's auditioned for us? Oh, womp, womp, womp.
You guys know how hard it is. It is a hard job. If you're in a small space, if you're outdoor in the streets, right, your costume is layered, okay? So Krampus and Kin, that's fur. So it's really making sure that when we create these characters and really create these experiences, is taking note on comfortability with our performers, with our artists. That we're making sure, are they in a costume that's layered? Okay, do we need to then provide a fan for them? Do they get to have a water bottle somewhere hidden? Do we give them a fatigue mat because they're standing for long periods at time? So I'm really at the forefront of my performer safety. For example, for the summer event, we have an extended experience out onto our patio. And so we are now coming up to Vegas heat. So really making sure that we have sun blockers out there, that we provide sunscreen, again, those water bottles, making sure there's enough flow of air coming through, because I want to make sure my performers feel safe, and if they feel safe, they can give their best performance, right? So that's really where it starts. When I get to scare school then, it's really applying the extra layer. It's going through and seeing what they do, what they think a scare is. Because a lot of the times of what I've seen over the years, and you guys might be guilty of this as well, is we like to scare in people's faces, right? We think the closer we get, the scarier it is. False. The closer we get, the more annoyed a guest gets. Because we're now in their personal space, and I'm seeing some heads go, yeah. And the reason, there's twofold for that. One, it's annoying, not scary. But two, when you encroach and you're in a personal space, you are more likely to get hit. Yeah, more heads going, yep, I've been there. Always keeping an arm's length away, okay? And it doesn't mean arm's length away, I'm not gonna be as scary as I need to be. No, you can be just as effective, if not more effective. What that does as well is it keeps our guests safe. It gives them a space to be able to react, right? We know guests react in a multitude of ways, fight or flight. Are they going to flop down to the ground, which we deal with a lot? Are they going to run? Are they going to cry? Are they going to laugh? Are they going to throw their friend in front of us? But the biggest one is, are they going to swing as a knee-jerk reaction? So always making sure that they are safely distanced from the guests. That's a big one as well. But then going through all the houses and going, this is where you're at. What I always like to do is I don't like to say, this is what the scare is, this is what you do every single time. The great thing about Horror Unleashed is it's a pulsed experience. You go in with your group and your group only, and you don't have to worry about bottlenecking, because it does happen, right? So you are getting a true experience that's different from Universal Orlando and Universal Hollywood, right? You're getting that moment of what's gonna happen. I don't see the scare ahead of me, which is amazing for us. But I always wanna say to my performers is, think about what else you can do. A lot of times performers feel like they can only do one scare. There's 20 different ways that you can scare. So it's always encouraging my performers and giving them the autonomy to come up with new ways to scare safely. So that's really where I come from when I'm working with my artists.
No, that's great. For those of you that have been to Horror Unleashed, did you like the pulse effect? Yes. So you didn't see the scare coming. Thank you, Art. You didn't see the scare coming, and that's really unique. It causes its own, guest service operational challenges, but it's well worth it. And once the guests understand why we're putting them on a brief pause instead of the conga line through, the scores have been, and the feedback from the guests have been incredible. So Mike, you and I come from probably one of the most iconic companies in live entertainment, having worked with Cirque du Soleil. As we continue to elevate Horror Unleashed, what type of technology or enhancements, what can you share? Some things we can't share yet, but what can you share that we're looking to add into the experience?
Well, I think we have a unique opportunity with the year-round experience where it's not a temporary house, so we can really invest into perfecting the scares and have the technology with animatronics. We have cameras and little screens on all of our visuals now, so they can see the guests coming, so it really helps them elevate that scare. We're in the process of integrating in some projectors for projector mapping in several locations. So just trying to elevate the experience with any technology that we possibly can.
I love that. I would be remiss if I didn't point someone out in the room today. One of our dear friends, Mark Jenkins, Senior Director of Entertainment with Universal Studios Hollywood here, also has Mark Jenkins, Fine Art, booth 93. But so much of our community is, we're a very small world. And so Mark has been a dear friend and colleague of ours for years and a huge advocate for Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Horror Unleashed. So I want to thank him for all of his support and loaning of a lot of props coming from his warehouse to get us up and running, right? It takes a horror village to bring this together. So Del, you mentioned all of the seasonal overlays and marquee events, and all I do is sweat about the budget that he needs for all of this and my role. But you also just touched on the food and beverage component. So at Horror Unleashed, we have rough cuts, where you can enjoy bits and pieces, shoulders, ears, but trust me, it's all incredibly tasty. It doesn't sound like what it is. And then Premier House, our full-service sit-down restaurant. How do you work with our head of food and beverage and our executive sous chef on the menu pairing for everything that you do? We don't leave the menu standard.
No, actually, I think since joining the team, the menu's changed probably like 7 different times. We bring back popular foods that have been a hit in the past. We create all new, well, I should say we, chef, creates all new themed dining, which I think is really the word that I want to stress. It's all themed to the experience. So when I'm working on an event, and passing off this concept to the other departments, I work heavily with food and beverage because then they start to take the concept and they're starting to figure out what kind of items can be applied to the experience that's going to enhance it, right? For example, we have a full menu for the new Jack show, right? Which is going to be amazing. So everything you order is going to be themed specifically to that show. They go off, they do their creations, they come through with some ideas, they share their menu, we do a menu tasting, we provide our feedback. These guys are working a mile a minute, which is incredible. But there's a really lengthy process with it because it's not just throwing out food and saying, here you go, enjoy this. It's really about having each component of Universal Horror Unleashed linked together so it feels holistic.
I love that. So
Plus, we get to taste it all the time too.
I know it's really great that we get to be the guinea pigs.
And the drinks.
And so, Mike, on the floor, the past 2 days, we bumped into a couple of people, and they've said, "How do I become a technician and work for Horror Unleashed?" So, what skill sets are you looking for in technicians? That team, that the maintenance, the inspections, the running the show. Give them some ideas on where to go.
Well, just a lighting background is huge. Audio background, so AV, anything that anybody that's worked with special effects before, airheads. So I would say just get out there and get your hands kind of dirty a little bit, get a little bit of experience, and then we actually hire a lot of younger people out of the UNLV program, the Entertainment Engineering program. So we have a lot of not interns, but we have a lot of graduates out of there that have joined our team that are very technologically savvy. So it's they show up every day, they're super engaged, they want to make the experience better, and it's just great to see that passion every day when they show up. But yeah, we're constantly posting positions on our website, so if anybody is interested, please, by all means, keep checking, and we're always looking for great team members.
Love that. So universalhorrorunleashed.com/careers. Del, same question to you. I see people raising their hands. They want to come and be a year-round scare actor under your vision of this very gory, creepy things that you come up with. How do they do it? How do they impress you?
I love that question. Actually, the first thing I always ask is, what's your name? And tell me a little bit about yourself. Right there and then I can tell whether this person's right to come on board because they're showing me personality. I definitely love when my performers bring personality to the role. You always bring a little bit of yourself into the role, even if it's a psychotic murderer, there's a little bit of you in that role.
We all have a little bit of that in us,
Sure,
don't we?
absolutely.
Right, Art?
But really it's personality. It's taking direction, right? I take them through a very lengthy process story. So basically I give direction in the moment and I have them respond to it. So it allows me to see if they can take direction. Are they listening to me? Are they being creative with my direction? Are they invested fully, or are they kind of like looking around at the person next to them and giggling? So it's really commitment, taking on the direction. I always say yes and, for those of you that do improv, always yes and, right? Always be willing to take on whatever character, whatever direction I give, and then building upon it. So really personality, taking direction, and just someone who is optimistically positive. I just love positive people. I love a very positive, safe environment. That's what I bring to Universal Horror Unleashed. I always say to my artists 3 things. It's about talent, it's about integrity, and behavior. And if you have all those three key ingredients, you're going to be successful.
I love that. Thank you so much.